Welcome back to Giant Monster Games. My name is Adrian, and we are playing some Mono Black Control. This is a pretty solid opening hand. We have some removal, we have some Inquisitions, we're playing first. I think this is absolutely everything we could ever want out of life. And let's start it off with a Inquisition of Kozilek, find out what our opponent is playing. Today, on the menu, we have... looks like tokens. We are playing against what looks like a token spirit deck. Path sucks. Inquisition sucks more. Yeah, I think Inquisition goes away. Opponent has no real gas in their hand, by the way, so that's actually quite good for us. Let's crack this open. We can see what our opponent has. So, I'm guessing it's tokens. Usually, if you're playing Sauron, Lord of whatever, it might not be tokens. Might be tokens. I think it's tokens. If it would be my guess, it's going to be tokens. Black-white tokens. And I guess we just do that and run into our opponent. We can always get Verdict our opponent next turn to make him sack a creature and lose a life, which sounds fantastic. Theoretically, we also could have Ghost Quartered, but he has a bunch of stuff. So I'm kind of just going to hold up on it. So, Godless Shrine. And what does our opponent... I guess we should throw that down. So, he played his Marsh Flats, just played the Ghost Quarter. And our opponent decides not to play anything. Just fine. I'm okay with that. I will, in response, though, play yet another... So, if we play Nighthawk, he's going to path it right away, which is fine. I'm okay with that. Mostly because getting more land is going to be awesome, because then we're going to play this one. Desecration Demon. We're going to play Desecration Demon sooner rather than later, which should be good. So let's see what our opponent has to say. The thing about Desecration Demon, if we are playing against a tokens deck, which is possible, I don't actually have any proof on that yet, then he will have things to sack. So just grab one of our many swamps. So here we go. And I'm assuming he's going to play his Godless Shrine now. Probably tapped, unless he has a 3-drop. Yeah. So no 3-drop for our opponent. So he's still sitting on Sauron and Zealous Persecution, which is a thing. And I guess we just run down the Demon of Desecration. I guess technically we could have also Ghost Quartered his Godless Shrine. Kind of just force him to, like, play with less options. Not a terrible option. And our opponent probably can't counter it. Patreons! Yelling at them. Patreons. For anyone that's interested, Patreon. And Desecration Demon, our opponent is deciding. Our opponent's thinking pretty hard on whether he needs to... If he needs to do anything with Desecration Demon. I can always yield to this trigger as well. Because I am never going to sacrifice stuff. I'm never going to respond to our opponent sacrificing stuff. At least not in this deck. And if I do need to respond, I'll respond before it actually goes on the stack. So, like, respond at our opponent's upkeep or some of this. He's going to Fatal Push it. Oh, hold on. With convert mana cost 4. What does he have? What did he... So hold on, destroy target creature if correct cost if a permanent you left battlefield this turn. What did he get? What did he leave? Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. Okay, I was like, hold on, what did he sacrifice to Fatal Push this guy? Nothing. He should have blown up his Ghost Quarter, blown up something of mine, and then he could have actually Fatal Pushed, but no. You can still target it with it, I guess. You just can't actually do anything with it. So that's a thing to make note of. So, what is he going to create? A vampire? Yeah, why not? Unfortunately, Victim of Night doesn't really help us here. What we will probably do, though, he's obviously not going to sack it. Seems silly. What we're probably going to do is make him sacrifice this guy and then swing into Sorin to get rid of him. This is going to be my game plan. Get rid of Sorin. You know, deal damage. I feel bad on our opponent for trying to fatal push this guy. Memoricide. I don't even know what we would need to be playing if we Memoricide. So, gets Verdict. getting rid of this guy. Again, that's what I was saying, like, I don't need to ever respond to the trigger, because I'm going to do stuff like this, where I get rid of a creature before he gets around to it. So, now we're going to go to combat. Always going to yield to this. Do not need to respond to it. And then, combat time, swinging at Soren's face. Might make our opponent scoop. Maybe. I mean, the other option is... No, we're going to take on Soren. Take out Soren. Just because Soren creates blockers. So I don't want to, like, have to be, like, swinging into blockers every single turn. Compared to... Especially because I can't destroy them because they're black. So Victim of Night is going to come out. Actually, no, Victim of Night can. Sorry. I'm thinking of Doomblade, which I definitely don't have in the deck anymore. Definitely has come out. I guess I theoretically on my turn could have played Ghost Quarter. Could have also blown up one of his things with Ghost Quarter. Yeah. Possible. Kind of just hold on. Let our opponent think, hey, he has all the removal in his hand. Because we should. We should have all the removal in our hand. That's kind of our game plan. So is our opponent going to... What? Does he have removal for this guy? It's possible. 6/6 flyer seems pretty awesome, though. We know this is gone. The Zealous Persecution doesn't really help our opponent out at all. So, Fatal Pushing again. Then this time he actually can get rid of it. So, officially getting rid of Desecration Demon. Now, what do we want to do now? The question is, do we think our opponent has more than one Soren? It's kind of hard to say. I mean, I'm not really sure what I would want to play Memoricide on. So, kind of just a little up in the air. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I'm not really sure what the real plan is. Memoricide is a really good card, but I'm not sure what we grab with it. You know what? Whatever. We're gonna use it. We're gonna just name Fatal Push. Why not? Might as well name Fatal Push. Or not Fatal Push. We're gonna name Path to Exile. Path to Exile. Not that it's like the best choice, but it'll allow us to at least get rid of, because he should be running multiple paths. Double Zealous Persecution. That's kind of funny. So all the paths go away. So what is he actually trying to do here? So there's the other Soren again. Tokens, 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 all the token stuff. So yeah, tokens. It is definitely a black and white tokens deck, which is kind of fun. And get rid of the graveyard. Opponent has double Zealous Persecution in hand. Okay, well, that's the thing that happens. Shipping it to our opponent. And so double Zealous Persecution. Theoretically, no, he can't yet. As I say, theoretically, he could kill this guy. If he really wanted to. But he needs another land. Mind you, he could always blow up his Ghost Quarter to blow up the other Ghost Quarter to get land. Technically also works. Okay, so opponent. Ooh, Dismember is a card. Okay. The one problem we have right now is we don't really have any solid win conditions currently. So, yeah. We're kind of just swinging for 2 and hoping that he eventually doesn't play a whole bunch of tokens, which is likely going to happen. It's likely going to happen. So, theoretically, I could also be blowing up these things to give him less options for color variation, but it also means he's going to likely draw into more action. So, let's not do that. Opponent gets a Marsh Flats, plays with Marsh Flats. We get a Dismember, again, another one. So that's a thing. It's a thing that happens once in a while. So, slowly swinging in for 2. It is a, well, at this point, what? An 8-turn clock. So, really fast. The fastest clock you've ever seen in your entire life. Fun times for our opponent. Opponent cracks the... Oh. Cracks the Marsh Flats. Down to a 6-turn clock. In 6 turns, our opponent will be dead if nothing changes. So technically he could double Zealous Persecution right now. Which... sure. You can Inquisition our hand. You can see that we just have a handful of removal. Play something, remove it. Play something, I'll also remove it. Play something else, and what's that? More removal? Yeah. So, yeah. One thing we're going to put in, we're going to probably throw in Memoricide. Not Memoricide, we're going to put in Mutilate, I think, from the sideboard. Basically, sack all creatures unless your opponent plays, or unless you pay whatever the life total is. Going to be the game plan. We'll see how this pans out for opponents. So opponent gets rid of Victim of Night, just because these are a little bit more expensive. Or we pay life for them, one of the two. And go to our turn. We get yet another Victim of Night. Hand Deja Vu over here. Let me put it back to the same spot. Deja Vu. Gonna go and attack our opponent. This is pretty like the slow grind game right now. The slowiest, most grindiest game right now. So, the nice thing is, again, because we got rid of all of his path to exiles, he's a little bit less likely to remove stuff. Especially because he only has 2 fatal pushes left in the deck, and I didn't see any other like direct removal. That being said, I didn't look super hard, so he may have more. What is this thing? Effect zone. This is the... Oh, there's Lingering Souls. Well, sure. You can play some of those guys. Let's see what I draw. Do I draw into something fun? Target creature gets -2. Sure. Kill off one of his creatures, which means he either has to play Zealous Persecution right now, which he likely won't. And do I still want to just keep going on the damage plan? Nah. I think we're going to go in if he does play Zealous Persecution for some reason whatsoever, then I'll actually kill it. So he's going to play the Zealous Persecution. Well, we can just Dismember it. There you go. So what our opponent technically should have done is blocked first, and then in response to blockers, because then this guy wouldn't have dealt damage. So right now he played Zealous Persecution. I'm still going to do damage because it's not blocked. So what you do is you need to, whenever you're doing a situation like that, you need to block first, and then in response to blockers, then you actually play stuff because he would still have been blocked and just prevent damage, because it doesn't have trample. So even if your creature dies in response to blocking, still there, still does stuff. So right now we have Dismember as our only real option. Our opponent has the slowest clock ever. Again, gonna play more Lingering Souls likely. And we know that he no longer has another Zealous in his hand. We don't really need that. We know it's in his hand. We know he has a Zealous Persecution in hand still, which is annoying for us. Not the end of the world. Do we draw into something good? No, we draw into a swamp. We're gonna leave it in our hand. We don't need it. I think we just carry on with the attacks, right? See if he wants to respond. Does he decide he's going to play his Zealous Persecution again? Play the second one? Just drain his hand of all of them? At this point, I think our opponent's... Ooh, is he going to block? He is blocking. With both of them. Okay, well... yeah, order. Okie dokie. And at this point, we kill one of them. See if he wants to get rid of the other Zealous, or use the other Zealous Persecution. Which he does, which I am fine with. So we get rid of the other one. Basically wipe his board. We don't take any, we don't lose our guy, but he loses all his stuff, and he burns away a Zealous Persecution. I actually think our opponent should have... Ooh, he has something else. He has a third Zealous Persecution. I don't know why you played that. I seriously don't know why he played that. It kills this guy, I guess. That's the one upside. It kills our guy. But it also uses up all of his Zealous Persecutions. So realistically, if he had 3 of them in, or he had two of them in hand, he should have been attacking in. My clock is not faster than his. His clock is 4 damage a turn. My clock is 2 damage a turn. So, I mean, mind you, that being said, I had a whole bunch of removal. All of the removal. So that is a thing. Theoretically, I could also blow up my own swamp. I might do that. I don't need this much mana anymore. So probably on his end step, I'm going to Ghost Corridor my own swamps just to thin my deck out and try and draw in something more relevant. Okay, opponent has 1 card in hand. Literally, he's playing the draw off the top of my deck. Ooh, Lingering Souls is a good draw for him, though. He's a very good draw. Okay. And then he's going to flash it back immediately. So 4 tokens. Well, let's sack this, blowing up one of our swamps, thinning our deck, trying to thin it a little bit. We're obviously not going to blow up anything specifically, none of his stuff with his Ghost Quarters, so we might as well use them for ourselves, thinning our deck, hopefully drawing into anything more relevant. Again, if he hadn't, again, Zealous Persecution would have been so much better for him to not waste on our guy. We still draw into another swamp. We'll play the swamp, and then ship it to our opponent. Bad spot for us. We are in a bad spot. Drawing into land is the thing that happens with this game, that's for sure. Ooh, what is he? He's going to be Sorin, the one that gives... Ooh, yeah. So I bet he's just going to get the emblem immediately. Creatures you control get +1/+0. Seems like a really good thing right now. Swinging for 8 damage. It's a really good way of making your opponent go away. Why? Why? Why would you do that? Okay, I mean, sure. I'm gonna go with, like, sure, you can do that. I realistically, he should have went for the emblem. Emblem would have been a better bet. Oh well. Opponent, you decide what you want to do. Okay, so we take 4 damage instead of 8 damage. And we are going to blow up one of our swamps again, drawing to draw into less land. Yes, we go and get it. At this point, there's no reason for us to not. Ultimate price, destroy target monocolored creature. Yeah, I guess so. Ultimate price. Sure. Instant speed. So we're going to blow up this guy because I don't really want him to gain a life back. Gaining life back seems unfun to me. Quite unfun. The most unfun you can possibly have. So there's his creature tokens. And a Marsh Flats. If I was him, I would have held up the Marsh Flats. So 8, 9, 10. This is a bad situation for us to be in. So let's go Ultimate Price, taking out the Vampire just to prevent him from gaining life. And sideboard, I think, is where we're going to see the real action for us against this match. So let us see. So we have a 1-turn clock. Either we draw a board wipe, which I don't think we have. This isn't a board wipe, but it does kind of maybe get us there. No, because he's going to go second emblem. Second emblem. Well, let's see if our opponent actually wants to do it. Desecration Demon. You are... I mean, I guess... When we did Memoricide, we could have, in theory, named Lingering Souls. Again, we weren't... I wasn't 100% sure if it was actually... Yeah, so he is going to sack one. Why do it on our turn? I'm not sure. I should have named Lingering Souls, but I wasn't 100% sure it was a tokens deck. I was pretty darn sure, though. So if we'd done Lingering Souls, then we wouldn't have this problem. Mind you, we would have been having our stuff removed a little bit more, so... It's a thing. It is a thing. And I think our opponent has lethal on... No. Why didn't you make another token? Why you literally didn't just, like, kill off Sorin? And, like, what can I physically possibly have? Like, seriously. I don't know. I feel like our opponent literally had lethal on board and just didn't go for it. No clue. No clue at all. I mean, if you wanted to make one of these guys, he literally could have just done this on his turn. Whatever. I don't think this saves me. Don't think it saves me. Because damage is going to be dealt before we gain the life back, which means we still are going to take enough 2 damage, 3 damage, 4 damage actually. We're going to take 4 damage. And more if he makes a token, makes another emblem, which he might do. Which he might just do. We'll see. We're not attacking in strictly because it doesn't win us the game. If it was 8 damage, then I would have swung in, but it doesn't win us the game. So there's no real point to doing it. So opponent's option, make another emblem. Make an emblem number 2. Swing in for lethal. Seems like a pretty good idea. Our opponent might get gun shy. Okay, there we go. Creatures, second emblem. Waits an entire extra turn to do it, though. That's seems a little bit crazy. Probably just sacrifice a guy. Why wouldn't he? I guess it goes either way. Going to sideboard for us is going to be a much better thing, though. So there's everything. A GG opponent, go to sideboard. Okay. Not going to block, no point. Going to sideboard. It's going to let him get the kill as well. Why not? Alright, sideboard. We have stuff to deal with this. So, Mutilates come in. Mutilates are very good. Sudden Spoilings is very good against tokens. Hero's Downfall, good against the Planeswalkers that we're dealing with. Relic. We want Extirpate. Extirpate allows us to... I think we go Extirpate, actually. I think we actually go Extirpate over Memoricide. We actually pull out Memoricide. Memoricide is good because we can name, like, Lingering Souls and stuff, but I don't think it's going to be as good as we need it to be. Duress is good. Disfigure... I think spot removal like Disfigure is not going to be as good. Other spot removal weak time stuff. So Dismember doesn't help us out here. Dismember comes out. Grey Merchant. I think Grey Merchant comes out because he has a lot of removal, and us getting a permanent that stays in play is not going to be not going to be super easy. I wish we had more Bile Blights in the sideboard, but we don't. So that's a thing. Grey Merchant stays in, gets Verdict, stays in, Victim of Night. So Vampire, Werewolf, or non-zombie creature. I think we take out 2 Victim of Nights. Because we're putting in a bunch of other, like, better removal stuff, specifically Mutilates. And I think that's the way we go. The other option is realistically throwing in Memoricides as well. If we leave in the Memoricides and take out more Victim of Nights, I think that's the way we go. Because go for the throat and ultimate price, destroy anything he's playing. So I think that's going to be fine. And actually, do I want more Duress? Yeah. I think keeping the Duress just so we can actually, like, pull off of things that he might actually need. Because there's more often than not that he's like, oh, I'm going to have, you know, this instant or this sorcery that matters. And we are playing first. Hero's Downfall, Duress, Bojuka Bog. Bojuka Bog's really good. Bojuka Bog's really good, actually. I think we keep this. Basically going to turn 1 Duress, turn 2 kind of hang out, turn 3 Vampire Nighthawk, start swinging in the air, and gaining life, which should give us the edge. Should theoretically give us the edge. We're going to see how it plays out. And then we have Hero's Downfall to deal with Sorin, which is really what we're going to be doing there. So, oh yeah, don't drag cards out. How can you tell that I'm playing too much Hearthstone and MTG Arena, or Magic Arena? So, Zealous Persecution, Thoughtseize, Lingering Souls. I guess we go Lingering Souls. Because he's going to Thoughtseize these things away real quick. Like, real quick. So, it's going to be likely Swamp, Thoughtseize, then next turn Thoughtseize as well. It's pretty funny. Pretty funny indeed. At least we have Bojuka Bog, which means we can get rid of the Lingering Souls before he can even play it. Which is going to be the plan. 100% the plan right now. So, Godless Shrine, untapped, obviously, Thoughtseize. Just remove one right now. And it's going to be Vampire Nighthawk that is going to be going away. Hero's Downfall is also good, but Nighthawk is like just substantially better. Substantially better. Okay. And I think we, at this point, we Bojuka Bog just to get rid of Lingering Souls so he can't play it next turn even if he wanted to. So, ooh, we have Inquisition as well. So, we might as well Inquisition our opponent to get rid of the other Thoughtseize. Probably. Most likely. So he drew into another land. So let's go Thoughtseize. Sure. Bojuka Bog. Getting rid of all those things. Specifically because I don't want him playing Lingering Souls. I know obviously getting rid of his graveyard is like not the greatest thing, strictly because we do have Extirpate, which, Extirpate, which needs to actually target something in the graveyard. So we're gonna have to wait for him to do something else. And realistically, yeah. Again, this is the best bet. This is the best play. Best current play. Now we need to draw into a threat, by the way. This is what really needs to happen. So I think we're both in the same kind of boat here. So play a swamp, ship it to our opponent. We're playing the play land, pass, go. There you go. At this point as well, I mean, we're running pretty light on our clocks. So we drew into a Marsh Flats, which he played instead of other stuff. So we knew about these three things, and we know that's gone. And there's the Ghost Quarter. Make sure I'm keeping track of what's in our opponent's hand or what's not in our opponent's hand. And yet another Hero's Downfall. I mean, we can definitely get rid of any creatures and or planeswalkers that he wants to play, which is good. Is really something we need to do. And again, we can do it at instant speed, which is nice. So he's going to probably play Sorin, and then we're going to like blow him up. Playing not before Sorin actually makes a creature, unfortunately, but getting rid of Sorin quick is going to be better. And he's playing Sorin already? Might be. Quite possible. One thing about Planeswalkers, by the way, if you didn't know this, is because when a Planeswalker comes into play, once it resolves... Oh, Spectral Procession, you say. That is actually not very fun. We have the worst hand for this. Like, the absolute worst hand. Do I Hero's Downfall one of these? Probably not. Let's just see what we have. See what we draw into. Maybe we'll draw into a Bile Blight. Pretty unlikely, but maybe. Getting bested by Black-White Spirits. I feel like our deck should be able to handle Black-White Spirits quite well, but I guess maybe not, actually. Strictly because we don't have enough, like, wide removal. We have a lot of, like, okay removal. So we'll see. Sorry. We don't have a lot of wide removal. We have a lot of spot removal. So going against, like, such when we keep drawing all this land. Keep drawing all the land. So especially when we're going against decks that are playing like Tarmogoyfs or like big creatures, like or medium, like mid-rangey creatures, then we easily have enough removal to like just like spot remove them as they come in. But you know, dropping 3 at a time is like really not something that we can deal with. Not something we can deal with at all. And a Shambly Vents. Ooh, that's gonna be very hard to deal with. Becomes a 3/2 black-white elemental creature token with lifelink. So yeah. We may actually have to Hero's Downfall that when he plays it. We'll see. We will see. Sweet. I love all the land. I love land. Love the land. Just want more land. What do I need? Land. What do I want? Land. What is everyone going to give me? Land. We have a lot of land in the deck. Obviously, we do need to draw into land. We can't risk not drawing into land. But when you draw into all land, it feels not very fun. So he's probably going to activate Shambling Vent, which then we're going to Hero's Downfall. Because Hero's Downfall is something that needs to happen. I can't have him gaining life. Okay? Come on, we can't risk that. Sure, and Bojuka Bog. Bojuka Bog! Getting rid of creatures since World Week. Is it World Week? Pretty sure it's World Week. And he's going to path his own guy just so he can go fetch up a land. Sure. I feel like keeping the path would have been better for something, you know, something else. Specifically something like one of my creatures. You know, just saying. Just a theory. Not a proven fact, but a theory of mine. Okay. Opponents doing the thing where they swing in with a bunch of small creatures. Winning on the back of small flyers, definitely something that happens in Modern quite often. So let's play Gatekeeper of Malakir for his character cost, making our opponent sacrifice creature. Targeting our opponent. There you go. Yep, so you get to sacrifice one of your spirits. Which I'm happy about. And then I think it just goes to our opponent's turn, and their clock is still technically faster than ours. So, that being said, I can remove one of these guys. But Hero's Downfall really needs to be saved for Sorin, because Sorin is going to be really hard for us. Really hard. What's playing for... There's Sorin. So hopefully he's just going to try and create a vampire to prevent Sorin from dying. Yeah, because he's a silly man like that. And we just Hero's Downfall Sorin like immediately. Because that's what we do here at Giant Monster Games. We Hero's Downfall Sorin, even though Sorin's not really a hero. Sorin's kind of a bad guy in the story. Not really a bad guy. No, he's pretty much a bad guy. Let's be honest, he's pretty much a bad guy. So, opponent, again, our opponent should have just made the emblem. This is why, I mean, Sorin comes in with 3 counters, so you can immediately make the emblem. The emblem is way more valuable than a 1/1 black thing. So he basically just paid 4 mana to create this 1/1 lifelinker. Compared to paying 4 mana to give all of his creatures forever, +1/+0. Like, I can't interact with that at all. You win. GG. Thanks for playing. Okay, so we need to draw into some actual action at this point, otherwise... Destroy target creature, not artifact. I think we're gonna go this way. Again, our clock is not faster than our opponent's, but yeah. So he still has Zealous Persecution, so we need to keep that in mind. Okay, here we go. 2 damage. We are keeping pace with our opponent. We're not faster than our opponent. Fatal Push? Really? Gonna be a Fatal Push. Yeah, sad day for me. It's okay. It's okay. We're not keeping time with our opponent anymore. We are clearly losing at this point. Slowly losing. It's the slowest of losses, but it is a loss nonetheless. I think we can still turn it around. There's still things we can draw that will turn this around for us. We just need to draw into them. Desecration Demon being a pretty solid answer, to be quite honest. I mean, Fatal Push would have been much better for him to keep up for Desecration Demon. And this is going to be Always Yield. Okay. Extirpate would be really good right now, because we can grab Fatal Push and or Path to Exile. Memoricide would also be really good, because we can name Lingering Souls. We're getting rid of Lingering Souls. White. If it... Oh, white. Oh, no. Looks like it's another Sorin coming down. It is. It's the annoying Sorin as well. The better, most annoying of Sorins. Because he gives all your creatures +1/+0 and lifelink until your next turn. So that's a thing. So that's usually what you use him for. You don't ever really use him for his vampire ability, which you could, but and then if you always get him, if you can get him up to 6, his ultimate is at the beginning of each player's upkeep. That player sacks a creature. Ugh. Terrible. Terrible. Does the opponent want to sacrifice one of his creatures? No, we're going to block and kill one, though. Oh? Does our opponent attack in? If our opponent decides not to attack in, we're not attacking in next turn. We know he has a Zealous Persecution in hand, which means he can fire it off as well. Okay, so we're not attacking in either, because he can kill this guy in response. But if we get removal... Ooh, Mutilate. Ooh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No. To be honest, I really need to use this. Actually. I don't really want to. And I need to use it on my turn. Mutilate's going to make everything get -1/-1 for each swamp I control, and right now that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. Oh, that says 6 right there. So this guy actually dies if we play Mutilate right now. Let's go to combat, see if our opponent wants to sack a creature. I'm assuming he doesn't. Doesn't seem like a very good idea for our opponent. That's because he's sitting on Zealous Persecution. I think we just wait. We're not dead yet, so we have like a turn, mind you. Like 1 turn. Maybe less than 1 turn. That's a scary thing right there. So he might... So opponent's not going to sack a creature, so we're going to have to mutilate next turn. And he might just Zealous Persecution as well, just because he can. Because he would basically be playing lethal at that point. Not actually lethal, but basically lethal. Does our opponent decide to swing in? Does not. Opponent does not swing in. Unfortunately, I don't think we can come back from this, by the way. I think this Sorin getting his ultimate off is going to be the death sentence for us. But I think we go like this. Especially because we blew both of our heroes' downfalls. So, this is the better Sorin, by the way. If you're looking to play Sorin, this is the better one. This guy's okay, because he does, get the emblem like right away. But this one is substantially better. Largely also because if you're playing tokens, especially creature tokens, this thing's way better. Just play this. Don't play Sorin. No point. Does the opponent decide not to block? Really? Opponent doesn't block. Interesting. Okay, well, time to make all the things go away. Goodbye, everything. Very strange. I mean, he kills my guy as well, which is fine. I'm amazed our opponent didn't block there. I guess our opponent was like, oh, now that he's tapped out, we can probably swing in for lethal, is what he was thinking. But now we reset everything to 0. And I probably could have played the Swamp. Let's hold it up. Make our opponent think that we have something awesome. What does our opponent play? Leyline of Sanctity. Which is fine, actually. Not amazing for us, and we just drawn it all of the land. All of the land. I don't really want to draw into all the land, but I'm drawing into all the land. Looks like our opponent is also drawing into all the land. Ooh, man. Gotta love land. Who doesn't love land? Does our opponent love land? Come on, opponent. You love land too, right? Inquisition is basically a land right now. If we needed something big, if we were going to play something like Cruel Ultimatum, now would be the time to play Cruel Ultimatum. Obviously, we can't because they have Leyline, but, no, I skipped through my turn. Oh, well. I'm going to play Ghost Quarter, blowing up a land, trying to get rid of more lands on my deck. Hey, Macarena, you can take the Inquisition. Ghost Quarter. Right now, Ghost Quarter blows up this thing. Yes. I know, obviously, come on. Calm down. I know I could have actually, tapped it to, pay for Nighthawk, but I literally had nothing else I'm going to play, so it doesn't matter. Playing Nighthawk, go. Play Nighthawk, go to our opponent's turn. Our opponent has 5 minutes on the clock as well, which is a thing. Is a thing. 3 cards in hand. I mean, our opponent theoretically may have a path or a push. We're gonna hold up on this land. Attacking, going to our opponent's turn. Getting some life back might not be a terrible thing. Ooh, gaining life back is a thing that is happening. It is happening up in here. Life gain. Hey, that's not good. That's also not good. I guess we just go to combat. Ship it to our opponent's turn. I mean, we could play the Swamp, but I'm just going to hold up on the Swamp. We're just going to hold cards in hand. Hold them up. Pretty sure there's a song that says hold them up, up, up. And it's just, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry if I feel like I'm losing energy. It's just like a very grindy game. I'm like, I don't really feel like much going on here. We need a removal for this, so hopefully we draw into some removal. If we don't, I may just have to not attack him with Nighthawk, which makes me sad. We're literally just bouncing back and forth the life gain now. As in, no one gains life, or, oh, he's going to Zealous Persecution it. Bravo, opponent. We now know that you've played your Zealous Persecution. At least one of them. Probably has more. Double Zealous Persecution. Ooh. Again, I think saving those just to get some, like, tokens in play was probably a better idea. Because it doesn't like, really win you the game. It's just going to do stuff. Bam. The Demon of Desecration. Always yield. And then I think I just swing in. Again, like, blowing the Zealous Persecutions for no real reason doesn't help our opponent. Where if he would have actually swung with this thing, and then I would have blocked, and he would have doubled Zealous Persecution, especially with, like, Desecration Demon. Like, way worse for our opponent. I mean, way worse for us. I mean, way better for our opponent. Because this thing would shrink by 2, so it would be like a 4-4. This guy grows by 2, so it would be a 4-5. Bounce, kill, done. Meh. It's the way it goes sometimes, right? These are the lessons you learn as you play Magic the Gathering. Okay. This is turning into a very long game, by the way. Just want to point it out there. Begin combat. Opponent is not making Shambly events into anything. Okay, our turn. We can play the swamp. Go to combat. Attack with everything. Whoop. To our opponent's face. If we go to game 3 and our opponent loses on the clock, I'm going to be quite sad. Okay. I'm not really sure. Again, what does our opponent do to get out of this? What does our opponent do to get out of this? We find out right after these messages. Opponent playing something. Sound the alarm? No. Another sword? Probably not. No, he's actually going to activate the vents. Swing in for 2, I guess. Which sure is fine. So I think when we go to sideboard, there's a few things we can take out. Like, did I leave in? I don't think I did. Don't think I left them in. Dismembers. Dismembers are, like, really bad. And again, Zealous Persecution. Why? Why would you play that right now? It doesn't actually help you win the game right now. I mean, it prevents you from dying for a turn, sure, but I mean, realistically, going to sideboard and scooping is probably a better bet. Yes, target player. So, attack all. Attack with all creatures. This doesn't help us at all right now because he has ley lines. So I think we may... We don't have any way of dealing with ley lines either. Hey, there's a Path to Exile. That's fun. Sure. I would love to not draw more lands. Like, realistically, I would love to draw not more lands. And again, because we have no way of dealing with enchantments either, I feel like I should have Ratchet Bomb on the sideboard, which I really don't. Which is kind of sad. Sad for me. Split second. Until end of turn, creature's target player control loses all abilities and becomes 0/2s. Doesn't really help when he has a Shambly event and he has a ley line. That's bad. That's very bad. We might lose this game, guys. We might lose this game. Apparently it's a bad matchup for us. Again, I would love to play the Sudden Spoilings, but again, it's target player. Doesn't really help us out at all. Swamp seems really strong right now. And we can't swing in. We can play a swamp. We have 10 swamps plus a Bojuka Bog. We have 11 lands in play. We have, yeah. Would really have loved to drawn into any other action. Would have been awesome. Would have been amazing. Didn't. Shambling Vents. The Shambling Vents is going to be blocked by the Vampire Nighthawk. Because he's blown all of his Zealous Persecutions, unless for some reason he managed to have another one. Which would blow my mind. 3, 6, 9. Okay. I just want to do this. Come on, let me do this. I know I can't. But it would be amazing. I guess technically I can cast it on myself as well. That's why it's allowing me to say, hey, like, target this if you want. Theoretically, Inquisition also could have done something. Phyrexian Arena, that doesn't really help me out at all either. We'll play it, just to show our opponent how awesome our stuff was. Okay, well, turns out that Black-White Tokens is a really bad matchup for the Mono-Black Control deck. Until next time, though, my name's Adrian, this is Giant Monster Games. I'm on vacation, so that's why you're watching gameplay videos. Until next time, don't forget to game like a giant monster. Thanks for watching the videos here on Giant Monster Games. If you want to support the channel directly, we now have a Patreon page which you can go and become part of the broader Giant Monster Games community. Additionally, if you want to see some other awesome videos, you can click right here or right here.